Hello, hello, hello to all of you lovely mums. I'm so excited for today's episode. Obviously, this is my first ever solo episode, and I don't think I'll be doing too many. But also, if you know me, the whole process of goal setting and intention setting, I absolutely love it. I used to do it. I used to do it every week and every month. And definitely this one going into the new year is such a big thing for me. Also excited because for me, it feels very much like this year, I'm just coming back to it. I am coming back to it, and I'm so excited about that part of it. I don't want to say I lost myself this year because that's definitely not what happened. But as so many of you, I feel like will really relate to this, it has been a very busy year. And as I'll explain, as I'm going through part of my intention setting as well, this year I've been very much in survival mode. So a lot of the things like intention settings and making sure that I was following my goals and bringing myself back to myself I've let go of them. So I'm really excited to spend this time kind of sitting, reflecting, and creating intentions for the next year and diving into the next year. Just so much purpose, so much intention, so much just clarity. So if you have never done an intention setting before, there is nothing intimidating about it. There's nothing scary. And really, you can make of it what you will. For me, I love creating a bit of a ritual around it. At the moment, it is holidays, so I don't really have the luxury of pulling myself completely away from my children. I have my 3-year-old actually asleep on the bed next to me. My children are in the room next door, but they are occupied. But even within that little bit of chaos and unpredictability that obviously my children bring, I have my cup of tea here, which I know is going to be my flavor and my tea for hopefully the year. I have candles, I have a smell going on. Again, those things that whenever I do then sit in just meditation or thought, these are the things that bring me back there way faster. So I'd love for you to find yourself a cup of tea, light a candle, have a mat, wear something, or have a feeling of something close by you. Just create that atmosphere that feels really good, that feels really grounding, that you can sink in, that you can feel safe and trust yourself in this environment. And I am going to be sharing as we go through some of the prompts. I will be sharing some of the things I have already done the reflection, so I will share a little bit with you. If you are not interested in what I have to say, and that is completely okay, then just skip past those parts. But enjoy the prompts and really sink into them and think and let your mind wander. You will need a journal and a pen. That is the absolutely bare minimum that you need, but then also just create that space how you want. We are going to start with something that I know a lot of you are going to skip over, but I really want to urge you not to, because I feel like so many, and I speak to a lot of mums, and I feel like so many of us mums are in heads a lot. And if I could gift us anything for today's practice, it's just getting out of our head and into our bodies and our heart a little bit more. So what I'm going to ask you all to do is pick a song, put it on your phone, have your earphones in so you can have it really loud. And I hope that you are in a place that you aren't seen, so you can literally, and I know you all know what's coming, we are going to dance. Move your body. Don't worry about the rhythm. Move your arms, stomp your feet. I really want to. We're going to pause the podcast while we're all dancing and choosing our song. But I want you to come back with a fast heart, hopefully sweat dripping off your face. Really move your body to that music. You can choose any song that you like. There's absolutely no pressure. It can be sad, it can be upbeat, or you are, of course, welcome to use the song that I am going to be using. I'm going to be using A Good Day by Mackenzie Berg. I think that's how you say his last name. And this is a song that it just gets me in the mood, and it just makes me happy, and it brings out that very much lack of rhythm that my body has. So I absolutely love it. Okay, so we're all going to do that. Pop your earpods in or your earphones and get dancing, and we will be back in about 3 minutes. Okay, how was that? Oh, there's something about dancing, and I always, every time I do move my body in that way, this is something that I want to bring into my daily practice. And as mums, I feel like it's so easy to do with children as well. Like, pop music on, move your body, stomp your feet, wriggle your arms. I feel like it's like everything that our body needs. And we hold all this tension in all the time. So I hope that that was a reminder for you as well. And as we sit here, you take a seat, take a smell of your tea, look at your candle or whatever you have going. Put your hand on your heart if you feel called to, and we're going to take a few really deep breaths before we get started with our reflection and intention setting. So in through your nose, and out through your mouth, and sink deeper with every breath. I know for so many of us, 2025 has been a big, big year. There's been, what I'm hearing is a lot of struggle, whether that is just a mental struggle or a physical struggle. And if you've had a great year, then that's amazing too. But there's always things that we need to let go of. There's always things that we need to invite in more. So we are going to start, and I think that that is always the place to start, is kind of reflecting on the year that we have had. So open your journal to a new page if you already have a journal, or if you are starting a new journal, you are also welcome to do it in there. For me, I actually always love doing this process of a little bit of reflection on 2025 or the previous year. I like doing that in my journal that I'm already using. And then when I start from just dreaming and intention setting and manifesting for the next year, I start that in my new journal. It hasn't really worked that way this year, but that's usually what I do. Okay, so the first prompt is, what was this year like for me? What was this year like for me? What was 2025 like for me? And I know for some of you who are deep thinkers and like to structure and organize things, I know maybe you want to do it in bullet points, and that's okay. I am just such a fan of free writing. So just let yourself write. Go where your mind goes, go where your heart goes. You don't have to pre-think before you write. Just, what was the year like for you? For me, and please feel free to skip past this part if you want to, first thing I've written down is this year felt hard for me. As I'm looking through the year, I'm realizing that it wasn't so much the circumstances of the year that felt hard, but it was in my mind. It was this juggle, it was this fight. And I think that my internal stress and my internal mental space made things feel really hard. And it was also a year that like I stuck up for myself a lot more. I'm a people pleaser by like heart and soul. And I have this big smile on my face when I say that because it's something that I've always believed about myself, that I am a people pleaser. And a part of it is also I'm not as opinionated, I think, as some of the people around me. So if we're doing something, I'm quite easygoing. I don't mind that much. So I'm just like, oh, let's let them be happy. Let me go with it. As I'm looking more into that, I am realizing just these people pleasing tendencies and this fear of making people angry. And that has come up in a huge, huge, huge way with growing a community and growing a business and realizing that when there are so many people to try and please, you exhaust yourself very quickly. So this is a year that I've really had to try and stand up for myself a little bit more. I've had to say no a little bit more. And that is hard. Well, anyone who has been on the flip side of that, like after you've become the people please, after you've overcome the people pleasing and you are saying no and you are holding yourself accountable to looking after yourself a little bit more. The disappointment and the anger and the like, yeah, just I mean the expectations of people towards me and letting them down. And that's been very, very big for me this year. And it weighs very heavy on my heart. That was a big thing for me for this year. I mean, all in all, I've written down here that it was just a fast year. Oh my goodness, it was fast. And at the same time, so much happened. And Alex, my husband, and I were looking back on last year Christmas, and it honestly feels like it was like 3 years ago. So it was fast, it was hard, but I think that there was a lot of growth for me as well from this year. So what I want you to do next, and if you do need to pause it to write more for yourself, then please do, please, 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 after every prompt. Obviously, I'm not going to wait for everyone to finish writing, so just pause it and then carry on when you're ready. The next thing that we are going to do as a bit of a reflection on 2025 is we are going to list the months and what happened in those months. So what has happened over the course of the year? Because there's often so many things that we forget. If you are like me and you forget things very, very quickly, you are welcome to either go back into your journal, or something that I really like to do is I just go through my phone, my photos. And what I'd love for you to write down, so start with January and what happened in January. But mostly what I really want you to capture is feelings. And sometimes when you just look through your photos and you know the things that were happening in that month, you do bring back those feelings. Because very often when we post on social media, we take pictures, things look happy or things look a certain way. Very often we have something underneath the surface. So try and bring yourself back to those feelings as well and what happened through each of the months. So January, for me, I'll just go over a few of mine. So all of my kids were at school for the first time in January. Think that I thought that would bring me a lot of space and time. But actually what I realized is that I had just way overcommitted and had so many expectations of what I could do. Because the previous year I had two of my children home. So it felt like I'd have all this time. But that wasn't really the reality. So off the bat, I think I was very overwhelmed, just not being able to do things. Friend visit from the Netherlands, which was exciting, but also already from January, I definitely had this feeling of rush of, oh my goodness, my time is wasted. January, I also had at that stage my first biggest month financially, which was a huge mark for me. We had changed some things, I had changed some things in the business. And I think financially, it was January that year was like an exhale. It was like, this works. And lots of excitement around that as well. And then going into Feb, We started our walks for the year. We were in Women's Health magazine. Also at the time felt, well, it was still feels really big. And we had a few wonderful outings to Boulders Beach. And I think in Feb, I, I already, which is crazy because it was only Feb, but I'm hoping that the same doesn't happen this year. But in February already, I felt like I needed a break. So we actually went away to Stray Spy, which is like my happy place. Um, what other big things happened in the year? So the first part of the year for me was great, and I actually had filled it with a lot of excitement, a lot of outings, a lot of things that fuel me and make me happy. And I remember at that stage also exercise was a big part of my life. From June, which is always a bit of a common theme for me as the weather changes. I plan less outings with the kids, and then I feel like they come home from school, and I'm like, oh, okay, what can we do? I'm less organized, and it just feels, yeah, winter for me always feels like a little bit lower. So yeah, from about June, July, I really felt this survival kick in. And again, as I've gone through the year and as I've gone through the months, I've realized like the survival was in my head because circumstantially, um, everything was going really, really well. I definitely bit off more than I can chew and I mean, oh, guys, I know everybody says that they're busy, and I know everyone's probably so tired of me being like, oh, I'm so busy. Um, but I think there's a busyness that comes with like just the to-dos of life and running a business. Hosting a community, as those of you will know who have a community, when you have just so many people, it's not even just the time, it's the emotional, like, wow, I'm holding a lot of space for a lot of people. So yeah, so that really kicked in. November, I got sick, and that has really, don't have a better, more eloquent word, but it has stuck. So I got sick and have just really struggled to gain momentum, gain energy. And it's really tainted this, even the beginning of this holiday. We've still haven't got better. Only now I'm starting to kind of see the upside of that. We've all been on antibiotics. Yeah. So sickness. Okay, and December. What did you do for December? You can pause and stop listening to me and plapper on, and you keep on going. Okay, we're going to do a few more prompts to process 2025. And I know it's so tempting to jump ahead and start with 2026, but I really feel like diving into things that 2025 taught us, the things that we struggled with. I feel like that's going to give us the motivation, the ammunition that we need to really find the core of what we need for next year. So the next prompt that I want you to write on is, what did 2025 teach me? What did 2025 teach me? And this is specifically for those mums who had tough 2025. I mean, I think that is one of the best things of struggle and of lessons and of hardship, is that they do become lessons and we do get to jump off of them so much stronger. So, what did 2025 teach me? For me, I have written down here that I can only enjoy spontaneity when I have safety grounding. And this is really big for me because I am by nature a very impulsive, spontaneous, I just get excitement out of life when things aren't planned. Um, and going into adulthood, I think that there's been a bit of tension in my friendships, in my very good friendships, because of this. Because obviously life is not that spontaneous, and you can't be like that. And particularly when you have multiple children, so you need to plan. And for me, I'm very feelings orientated. So if we have like even a braai plan and then I wake up, last thing I feel like doing is going to a braai or socializing. Because I like to be quite intuitive with how I'm feeling. Um, so I love spontaneity of life, and I felt like the last few years, maybe because of just children and schools and systems, and as I mentioned, friendships, that you need a little bit more structure and organization. So I'm feeling this feeling of like, oh, I just want spontaneity. I just want to like think, okay, I'm going to the beach and like get in my car and go. But what I've realized this year and looking back on this year is that when I am operating from this place of just chaos, and I don't have this element of safety and groundedness in my body and in my relationships and in my marriage, it's really hard then to be spontaneous. So rather than feeling like, oh, I just need fun and I need spontaneity in my life, maybe what I need to do is rather anchor down before. And so that's something that I've learned this year. And our next prompt is, what did I struggle with in 2025? This one, I get goosebumps and a little bit teary eyed. I shared at our last bus mum meeting that the amount of people that I've spoken to in the last 2 months that really struggled this year makes me sad. It makes me really, really sad just to hear struggle. Particularly, I think, for our children. And for those of you who don't know, that's how I got into the Parent Hub. For me, children and our children's happiness was always my passion. And I always wanted to work with children. And starting to work with children, I realized that it was the mums who really needed help. Because when we are unhappy, when we are unhealthy, it's really hard to hold space for children to just be children. So now still I see so many mums struggling and I just want to fix it. I just want all of us to have this struggle, have it feel easier. So what did you struggle with this year? For me, and I've already touched on this, it was definitely people. I struggled with people, which is so ironic because it's what I do, it's what I love. I love people so much. But I think this year for me, I was really, really pushed to my capacity. And I'm quite high capacity most of the time. But this year, yeah, I really, really felt pushed to my capacity. It meant that I had to say no a lot more. Our communities and something that I talk about a lot and I foster a lot is like, I want people to come into our communities and feel like, "Oh, these are my people. This is safe. This is where I can ask for help." And I want to create that so badly. But what does happen is a lot of that sometimes falls on me. So my words are heard, and then people will message me and be like, "Look, I actually really need help. Thank you for offering." Um, and I need to figure out a way to make the community help each other. And that was always my intention. Because when I'm trying to help everybody, I'm not helping the people that are very, very close to my heart. And then I lose those connections. So that's been something that I've been very intentional about this year. I will say, I think I've been quite good at it. And my very close friendships have really blossomed because of that. I'm putting a lot more just love and care and thought into following up and being more present and offering, not being like, how can I help you? But actually going to their houses with a dish of food or whatever it is. I've really been intentional about those friendships, which I'm very grateful for. And I want to carry that over into next year as well. But on the flip side of that, say no to a lot of people. And again, like ugh, I keep saying this word struggle, but a lot of the people that reach out to me are ones in need, and I'm kind of their last resort. So saying no feels very hard for me, and they are hearing it. And like, I mean, they're also they're struggling to hear it, particularly after I'm the one like preaching, help each other, let's be there for each other, let's be a community. This is what community does. Lean on each other, and then I'm not there for those people. So that's been really hard, is having just people be angry with me, having people be disappointed in me, having people speak badly about me, and me having to hear about it and feeling like I just want to over explain myself. I want people to like see that my intentions are good. So that was really hard. That was a struggle for me. Another thing that was a big struggle for me is my relationship with my eldest son, Brody. He's 8 years old, very, very different child to me as well. But he's also just going through that stage where his friendships are more important, and his dad is like his absolute idol in his life, which I'm very grateful for. I'm very, very, very grateful that Brody has Alex there, because they are very similar. They have such similar interests. And I'm feeling this huge distance from him. And when you have two younger children and you see your eldest child, I feel like he's just like slipping away. And it's hard to watch and to not like just try and hold on to him, you know? So yeah, he's definitely becoming his own person, and I love it. And trying to also make sure that we have time together to do the things that we do enjoy doing in common, so hiking and surfing, and yeah. So that's been a very different dynamic of almost more friendship than the comfort that he used to get from me. But yeah, that's been really hard for my heart, and a lot of guilt has come from that as well. Am I working too hard? Am I with the other kids too much? Do I need to learn his interests? He's a super smart, bright boy. So yeah, so that's something else that has been hard. And then I think the last thing on reflecting on 2025, we are going to say what was wonderful about 2025. Oh, I love this. I love this. Because I think if you're anything like me at the end of this year and you are feeling tired and you have a little bit of a negative spin on the year, it was quite easy for me to talk and to think about the struggles and the hard moments and the things that just felt so heavy. But there were so many wonderful, wonderful moments of 2025. So I've really enjoyed going through this. And I want to urge you again, maybe even go through the notes that you made from all your months. And what were the wonderful things that came out and that you want to bring with you into 2026? For me, my children all loved school, which was the first year ever. Yeah, we've had years of needing to change schools and take Callie out of school and bring her home, and this was the first year that they all loved schools and we loved all of their teachers, and yeah, so that was great. My friendships, my really close friendships, felt very, very wholesome this year. I felt like in previous years, because I was just so busy. Again, I hate going back to that word, because it's not really about busyness. It's really about prioritizing. And I think in previous years I just hadn't prioritized those, and I wouldn't say I regret that decision, because I think I needed to not prioritize them. But this year I've prioritized. I mean, it's 4 friendships that I feel have just, yeah, really blossomed and felt great. And I mean, we've taken like mornings out to go climb Table Mountain, and yeah. So I've loved my friendships this year. Hmm. What did you love? What was wonderful about this year for you? I've written quite a lot about about my friendships. Okay, we are going to finish this off finally from 2025 with a list of gratitude. So, I'm grateful for in 2025, or you can say 2025, I am grateful for. And what I love to do just to make it feel like really wholesome and heartwarming, so I say thank you. Thank you. And my first one is thank you, life, for bringing me what you did in 2025. I love because it sounds so corny, but at the same time, I really, really feel like it's given me this foundation of resilience and strength and excitement for like a new chapter. Thank you, 2025, for a financially successful year. The confidence and space just to breathe a little deeper. Thank you for Blake, my son. He just loves me with all of his heart, like this unconditional love for me. And I am so grateful for that. And Callie for her kindness. Thank you, the weather. We have had such good weather this year. And thank you, I've written here, thank you to the bus mums for trusting me. I feel like it's been a year of, just like because of the growth, it's been unpredictable. And we've had I think there's like 5 bus mums who haven't signed up again for next year. So I'm really grateful for that. And thank you for my garden. It's such an outlet for me. Oh, and thank you for our fish. We have these little koi fish who have had babies. And it seems like such a tiny thing. But it was the most incredible process of watching these fish. They're koi fish and they laid eggs, and you have to take all the algae out and you have to put them in a new thing. And within a few days, the little hatchlings have come out, little fry, I think you call them. And it's just been such a peaceful, really peaceful process to end out a very chaotic year. There's so much to be grateful for. Hey, ladies, if you're still with me, you can take a deep breath. Well done. Thank you for, just for being here and taking that time. I want you to sit with your hand on your heart and think about what you've written, your year that's come, and the feelings that come with it. And as we breathe in, we're breathing in all the things that we want to save from the year that we want to take with us. And as you breathe a deep, deep breath, if you want it to be a sigh, make it a sigh. Make it like from your body. And let go of the things that we are letting go of in 2025. Okay. So if you have a new journal for 2026, then you take that out. If you are using your old journal and you have not been into journaling, so you only have a few pages, so that is totally okay. But what I love to do is skip a few pages on and write a big 2020 thoughts on a new page. Later or now, if you have the time and the space, you can decorate it and you can make it all beautiful and wonderful and just a fresh start. And I hope that you, as me, I actually can't get a smile off my face because I'm really excited about welcoming this new year and the year 2026. I hope that somebody knows more about the years and the moons and what kind of year it is. Maybe we'll have to have somebody on to teach us about that. I just have this great feeling about 2026. And honestly, just writing it down makes me happy. I've written it big across my page from the bottom to the top. And I decorated it, and I am ready for this new year. So take in a deep breath here where you are. If you do need to pause here and tend to something, or if you are getting a little bit angsty, you are welcome to pause this and do the next part of it at a later stage. But if you are ready to hop in, then here we go with our first prompt. What are you longing for 2026? And this is where I find it so important to have first done a bit of a processing and reflection on 2025. Because very often the thing that we, maybe the core or the foundation of what we struggled with in 2025 is going to come up here. What is the thing that you are really longing for? So right at the top of your page, I am longing for in 2026. And just write. Just write. What happens to me every year is I start writing and it starts with one thing. And eventually a word comes in, and that word has so much power. Like, I feel it in my body. I feel a bit weepy. I get goosebumps. And I feel like when we talk about the thing that we are longing for, it really brings out an emotion in us. It's an emotional word. So I started by saying that I'm longing for happiness. I'm longing for joy. And then I went on to say, the only way I'm going to feel this and the only way that it's going to happen is through presence. I realized that's what I'm longing for. I've had a great year last year. I had so many great things happen. My children grew. Good things happened. I was, I don't want to say never. When I look back on the year, I didn't feel like I was present enough. And when you're present, you can't, maybe you don't feel the sadness as much or the stress as much, but I also definitely didn't feel the happiness and the joy enough. So what I'm longing for is presence. And I've said here also connection, which I almost feel like, which also brings out an emotion in me, which is so ironic to what I do, right? So I had to look into that a little bit more, like, what do I mean connection? And somebody at the end of last year told me, when I was talking about connection and speaking a bit about the year that I've had as well. And she said to me, Chrissy, I don't know if you need to hear this, but I just feel really called to tell you this, that a connection is obviously happening around you and you're doing such an incredible job. She was very complimentary. But she said, true connection is going to happen when you're connected to yourself. And when you are connected to yourself, so much more happens. So I feel like that's my connection that I really am longing for in 2026. And again, I say that, and honestly, all the hairs on my arms stand up. I want to be connected just to, do I even need to explain that feeling of, like, I want to walk outside and just like feel like I'm there, like I'm on the ground, like I'm connected to the earth. I'm so connected to myself that I know what I need. I don't want to leave myself this year. I don't want to be in that like rut and that just busyness and chaos, and that I want to feel connected and not wait for moments to pass. Next prompt. In 2026, I am saying yes to. Ooh. Again, I have a really long page here of things that I'm saying yes to. I really like this feeling of excitement really comes out of me when I think about 2026. So who knows what of these things that will happen. But these are things, it doesn't necessarily have to mean like the actual thing that you're saying yes to, but feelings, the places, the people? What are you saying yes to more? What are you inviting more into your life? What are you saying yes to more? And I don't know who ever coined it, but I love that idea of like a fuck yes feeling, and people say that if it's not a fuck yes, then it's a no. So what brings you those like, fuck yes, I need more of that? Maybe it's more time with your children. Maybe it's less time with your children and more time with yourself. Maybe like, I have given so much to my children and my family, but yes, to time with me or my girlfriend, something that I really want to bring into either next year or possibly or this year, well, next year or 2027. I would love a girls' trip with two of my best friends. I have two friends that actually live overseas, so I don't get to be with them very often. But this year I've really tried to keep up, even though I'm so terrible on my phone. I've really tried to keep up with phone connection with them. So I'm feeling really, really connected in that friendship, and I'd love for somehow a overseas trip. Um, I'm saying yes to garden parties. That's something that like, and again, bringing that spontaneity and being like, and we did it a couple of times at the end of this year, and it fills me up that I haven't had to plan it. People don't come expecting everything to be ready and food. And I just want to be like, they're like coming over for some wine. And a couple of mums have come over, their children are playing in the garden. So I'm saying yes to garden parties. I'm saying yes to body massages, even not going to a massage parlor, but like massaging myself, feeling myself. I'm saying yes to candles and soft music. I'm saying yes to camping trips. Um, I'm saying yes, yes, yes to a beautiful home that feels clean and organized. We are staying in a small home at the moment, and we have a lot of stuff, like a lot. So it's just felt very disorganized and chaotic. And oh, my mind is so bad at organizing spaces. So I am saying yes to organized and clean. I'm saying yes to Fridays being my people day. I would love to carve out my Fridays for people and connection and being with people. I'm saying yes to hikes and more chats. Oh, something really, and this brings tears to my eyes, but I am saying yes to my husband, Alex, more, and just winning his love and winning our excitement back. For anyone that has been in a long-term relationship, things change and you have children, and we're both growing businesses, and it very often feels like we are ships in the night. We are divided and conquer. We are, yeah, you pick up that person, I'll pick up this person. But I really, really this year want to find time and space. And again, I think this comes with the same as I did with friendships for a bit. It was quite intentional from both of us to say, okay, our relationship isn't our biggest priority this year. And I'm excited. I'm like, it's a fuck yes to like, let's make it a priority again. Let's feel connected again and on the same page again. So I'm excited about that. I'm saying yes to beauty over, or I don't want to say over productivity, but let me just end it there. I'm saying yes to beauty. A lot of the things that I do are for function and for purpose. The part of our garden that we have is like a herb and veggie garden. Oh, I love it. I love tending to it. But I'm thinking of like having flowers and like really tending to those flowers. Thinking of saying yes to painting. I'm creative. I'm not artistic. But I want to say yes. Yes, yes, yes to painting. I'm saying yes, a big fuck yes to slowing down. I'm saying yes to strength. I don't know how I'm going to slow down yet because I also need to speed up, but maybe that's saying no to some things. Okay. So what have you said yes to in 2026? And then in 2026, what am I saying no to? Hmm. hmm. This was harder for me. I don't know about for you, which one was more easy or harder, the yes or the no. But this one was a bit harder for me. What are the things that you're just done with? You're tired of? You are putting those boundaries up. This is so much to do with those boundaries. And sometimes it's just a whole person. Maybe that's just a person that cannot be in your life at this stage of your life. Um, and as I'm thinking about the No's book, Mel Robbins' book, The Let Them Theory, is really coming to mind because I think very often we try and control people, or something when I was writing down these No's, something that had like a very visceral feeling in my body is like, oh, with No's comes like so much anger. People will be angry with me. People will be disappointed. I have to explain myself. And I have loved the book Let Them by Mel Robbins. So if you are looking for a book, I listen to it and I just find her very, very easy to listen to. So that's a great book. If you are struggling with boundaries, if you are struggling with, just trying to control other people as well. So my big one is, and I don't have that many here, like I said, this was harder for me. I'm saying no to people pleasing. And then after that, I'm saying no to like hypervigilance and obsessing over their opinions of me after I've said no. Saying no to the fear of people's anger. Oh, and a big no that I am saying this year, like I am saying no to abandoning myself. I'm not going to abandon myself anymore. Other people, just because I find something a little bit easier, I slip into that really easily. Because I feel like sometimes I do have a big capacity and I do have a big support network. Um, so yeah, I slide into this. Okay, let me just do that. Let me just help that person a little bit more. And I end up abandoning myself. I abandon particularly my health and my exercise and the things that I feel like take my time. And then I'll give it to someone else. So I am not abandoning myself this year. Okay, the next part, I love this part because it really goes into our dreaming. And this is something that we do with our vision board workshops as well. But it's visioning perfect day in 2026. Now, what I don't want you to do is think about like the height of when you have achieved your like most achievable thing and you have got the award or you are on the holiday. No, this is not that day. This is just a perfect, normal, ordinary day in your life. You can either do this point form, you can just flow write and keep on writing and writing and writing. You can do a little timeline of the time, or you can really just close your eyes, put your hand on your heart and your stomach, and take yourself through a day. What time are you waking up? What do you do as soon as you wake up? Do you shower? Are you going from the very beginning? Do you have a slow morning? Is somebody bringing you some coffee in bed? Or you're enjoying cuddles with somebody who's in your bed? How does your morning start? Where do you go from there? I love bringing scents into this. So, what do you smell? What are you eating? How does your body feel? That's like such a big one as we're aging, right? And that's been a big one for me this year. Is like feeling in my body. I'm feeling tired, and my like bones and my joints are feeling a little bit more sore, which is something I definitely want to work on. Okay, how are you feeling in your body? You drop your kids off at school. Where do you go? What are you working on? What's your day look like? How are you dressed? Are you like in the garden just in garden clothes, or are you dressing corporate and makeup on and your nails are done? Ah, there's so much excitement in that for me. Then you come home. What time are you coming home? Are you picking up your children? Are they staying at school? Are you coming home and the house is clean, or are you cleaning it with somebody? Are you cooking? What are you cooking? How healthy are you guys? Really think that. How are you playing with your children, or how are you bonding with your children, should I say? 'Cause I know we're all at different stages. We all play and bond differently. So you get home and how are you connecting with them? And what happens after that? How are you connecting to yourself? Do you have any rituals or habits? I think that's such an exciting one. Perfect, perfect day. And I think like what's really special about that prompt is so often we realize that it really is the small moments that can feel so perfect. And this was a big realization for me is like so many of these things, so many of the things that I wrote down, I've achieved them. I can do them. I am doing some of them, but it's my mind this past year that has been in a very different place to where my body is at. And I felt this huge sense of just survival. And that's something that I really want to be so, so intentional about next year is that like I'm not in survival. Um, a lot can happen before our whole lives are changed, you know? We have a lot of safety nets, and I don't want that feeling of survival because I feel like I, you miss it. You miss those small moments. Okay, so we have got to the part that it's going to be more point form, tangible goals. And what we're going to do is we're going to divide it into 4 parts. So, what I love doing here is I actually write on the top of the page, I write home, and then I do a little line. I write career, I write body, and I write spirit. Now, spirit for some people is a big word because it's related to religion or spirituality. It doesn't have to be that. You can come up with your own word there, whether you want to say soul, whether you want to use religion, whether you want to just say fun, or it's just the things in our lives that make us feel whole. So home, career, body, and spirit. And next to each of those, or I've done those along the top, so then I write it underneath. I give a ranking of each of those from 1 to 10. 1 is obviously being the least, and 10 is being the most, of how 2025 felt in this category. So, how much did I prioritize this thing in 2025? Under home, this is everything that happens in your home. So, I also include my relationships and my friendships. You can actually, if that is a big thing for you, and sometimes I do this, I have friendships and relationships as a whole different category. But home is really the space that you live in, your garden, your home, your people, your daily life. What did home feel like for you this year? So give that a score out of 10. How fulfilling, how purposeful, how much time and effort you put into it. And then next to that number, you put the number that you really wanted to feel for 2026. So maybe you put a lot of effort into your home and your children and the feelings that your home is creating in 2025. And maybe 2026 is more of the year for career and for you. And you can actually go down in your home category. Okay, then we have career. And this is all obviously your business, your work. If you are not working or you don't have a business, this can also just be your mind, your growth. What are you working on that is getting you further? And again, you're going to put a little score of how much effort and time and how this felt for this year. Score from 1 to 10. And then next to that or underneath that, you write what you want it to look like for next year. The next is body. And this is obviously your physical body. So how you look, how you feel, your health, your wellness. And again, you're going to put those scores down of how you felt about it this year. So for me, this is this is my biggest jump for this year. I feel like I gave myself a 3 on body this year. Again, it's not about how my body looks, but it's about how I felt in my body. I know 100% that exercise for me is like the core of everything that I do, like absolutely everything. And I have just completely dropped that because of time and priority. So this is definitely my priority for next year. So I had a 3 for this year and I have a 9 for next year. And then spirit, again, you can call this section what you want, but this is the things that just fuel you, that make you feel good. This is your rituals, your habits, your religion, your connection. What are things that you are doing to feel good? And again, give this a score for this year and where you want to be next year. And I love doing that because it just from a very quick glance, you can really see the gap between where you are, where you want to be on each of these. And you get to prioritize things a bit better, which I think a lot of us struggle with quite a bit when we are in the day-to-day of them. And then what we're going to do is under each of these headings, we are going to create 3 very clear, tangible goals. So what are your 3 goals for your home? What are your 3 goals for your career? Or you can have that one as mind or growth. What are your 3 goals for your body and your health? And what are your 3 goals for your spirit, for your soul, for your feel goodness? You can pause here. Once you have written down all of those, what I love to do is like highlight the most important word in each of those. And very often what you're going to find, and as we kind of come to end of this practice, we're going to start tying everything in together a little bit more. But looking through all of these 12 goals now, what is the red thread that runs through them all? What is the underlying thing? So the prompt is, what is the red thread that runs through them all? And maybe you need to dig a little bit deeper into that. Maybe you don't see it, but what is the underlying thing that you need all of these to be true? Or what's the thing that has been missing in your life in order for you to achieve each of these things? Very, very, very often is this underlying, this thing that goes through all of them that you're missing. Kind of the foundation. So like I just said, for me, a big one is health. I know that if I am healthy, I have energy to do and achieve way, way, way more. I'm reading through my answer here, and also what I've said is my red thread again is just this idea of survival mode. I feel like time, like I lack this time. And when I look into that, it comes from a space in my head, an idea of, I don't have time. I don't have time. And I want to change that. I want to feel safe in the idea that I do have time. I do have capacity to do all of these things. For me, it's definitely like a feeling of energy, a feeling of safety. Safe keeps on coming up for me. Like, that's a word. Okay. Your next prompt when you are ready is in 2026, a self-care practice that I will commit to. Oh, and again, I think that this is so important. Maybe it has to do with this little red thread that you see through all of these goals. But very often we have all these little goals that we're trying to achieve, and we get overwhelmed and we get all of them. But what is one self-care practice that you know will fuel you enough to hopefully achieve the rest of these goals that you are going to commit to? And this can be small, ladies. This can be really small. Again, there's a book that talks about how important it is to keep our promises with ourselves, and that so often that self-love is jeopardized because we forget to keep promises with ourselves. So this is a small promise to yourself. It could be 1 extra glass of water a day. So make that number. Are you going to be drinking 4 glasses of water a day? There's something I really need to hydrate more. Is it exercise? So for me, that is what it is. I am making a commitment to exercise every single day of 2026. And exercise does not have to look like pushing my body and sweating. I really want to also sync it more with my cycle, but I want to be able to have productive movement in my body that frees my mind. So use my body to free my mind. Okay. So we have come to the last 3 prompts. And here is really where it all comes together. So I want you to start on a fresh, clean page on this one. And at the top of the page, you are going to write my intention for 2026. Underline it. If you need, close your eyes, put your hand on your heart and on your stomach and take a few deep breaths. But thinking about the things that you've just written, thinking about things that you've thought about, the things that you're letting go of, the things that you want to keep in your life. My intention for 2026 is, and I want you to write that down. That feels so big and so wonderful and so exciting to me. And my eyes feel teary thinking of all of you setting an intention. What is your year going to feel like? I'd love for you to keep this to 1 sentence. We want to make it sharp and clear. I know many of you have made business plans and mission statements. Make it as clear and sharp as that. So if you are reading it to somebody or you are telling somebody, it is clear to understand. There's no long, drifty sentences. It's just my intention for 2026 is to. So my intention for 2026 is to operate from a state of safety, to stay connected to myself first. And I found this really interesting that I wrote this down because I felt like it was all about, when I was writing through everything, it was about connection and it was about presence. And don't think I wrote down much this word of safety, but when I was thinking about my intention and thinking about how I want to feel this year to operate at my highest capacity, I need to feel safe. I need to feel connected to the ground, to myself, to my friends, and the people that are most important to me in this life. Because I know that if I have that, if I have safety in me, in I'm not going to leave myself, that my friends aren't going to leave me, that I have financial safety, that I have safety in my health, safety. That's me. And my intention is to operate from a state of safety, to stay connected to myself first. And I drew a little picture there of an anchor. I know so many people love the symbol of an anchor, and I've never resonated with it. And as I thought about safety, I was like, I want to anchor down. I want to get roots. Maybe I should have drawn roots, but the word anchor really came out. Okay, so after you've done your intention, you're going to say, my mantra for 2026. And I love this as well because you can go through the world, and this is what I love to do. You go through the world reminding yourself of this. Our mantra is something we put it in a sentence as if we have already achieved it. So you're going to start it with, I am. And take it from your intention. Maybe you need to twist some things around to make it make sense. But I am. For me, of course, that's an easy one. I am safe and connected. And ladies, just saying that, I swear, it's like a weight lifted off of my shoulders. Like, I can imagine myself now in all the situations that I have been in 2025. And I needed this mantra. And I'm so excited to go into 2026 with this tool. When going through something stressful, to remind myself I am safe and I am connected. And how true is that? If you know me, you know that that is true. I am so safe and I am so connected. But sometimes it doesn't feel that way. And this is my reminder. So what is yours? What's your mantra? I am. I am peaceful. I am strong. I feel like that's such a big one. Strong in 2026. I am successful. Oh, I literally got all over body tingles when I said that. Like imagining, I'm like thinking of some of you specifically. I'm just like, I am successful. I cannot wait for you to come out of 2026 and remind yourself over and over until you are, I am successful. Oh, I am grounded. I am independent. I am. I am. I am. I am loved. Oh, the next one is going to bring tears to my eyes. I am enough. How many of us need that reminder? You do is enough. You don't have to do anything more. Mm. Mm. Okay, and our final thing that we're going to take from our mantra and intention is, my word for the year is, my word for 2026 is. And that's it. You write your word. So I have, of course, written the word safe. And I've decorated it. I've made it pretty. again, I this last page, so usually I have to go through this entire intention setting to get to this last page, and it's all a little bit blurry for me still, and I still have to think, and I still have to like redo it, and sometimes a few days later I redo it again. This year, it was very clear to me from like the moment that I sat down to think about last year and this year, it was very clear what my intention was. And as I did this practice, I almost challenged myself. And maybe that's why I didn't write the word safe in there, because I wanted to see if that would change, if there was something else, if maybe I just thought about it on a day that I was feeling different. Um, but this word just feels so comforting for me, safe. And I've actually written a big poster. My kids and I did this morning, and I've written safe. I am safe and connected on a big poster, and I've written out my little goals for each section. And something that we do if you haven't had the new year yet, which we are now, I'm recording this on the 28th. So what I will do on the new year is I've actually written my intention on a couple of pieces of just sticky note. I've put one in my diary. I've put one in my purse. I've put one in like the case of my phone so that we can have these reminders. And then what I'm also going to do, and I invite you to do the same, whether you haven't had the new year yet, or maybe you have had the new year and you're already in the new year. This is always just such a nice cleaning thing to do. And again, we also do this in our vision board workshops. Take that intention on a sticky note, one of them, and burn it. Burn it. Please don't burn yourself. They blow up pretty quickly, so don't burn yourself. Light it up, watch it burn, say it again and again to yourself. My intention for 2026. Ah, and that brings us to the end. Oh, I kind of wish that I could just talk forever. I have a really big problem with talking too much. So I hope this wasn't too long. I hope that you managed to skip past all of my storytelling and my part and just got to the prompts that you needed, if that's what you needed today. And mostly, I really, really hope that each of you can go into this next year with just this intention so buried in your decisions and your behaviors and your actions. I know, but for me, it just feels like I feel like I'm in partnership with myself. I feel so much less alone. I feel so much more, I don't want to use the word intentional again, but that is how I feel. I just feel like everything else has a purpose. That it's okay when I fail. It's okay when I mess up. It's okay when I say no, because I have this very, very, very clear intention that I'm going for. So thank you, ladies, for spending this time with me today. And most importantly, with yourself, for carving it out. I know that it is so hard. I'm not going to say I don't have the time anymore. That is something that I am saying no to. I'm not going to say we don't have the time to do it, but it is hard. It is so hard to find the time. My house is a mess. I'm not sure if you heard my children in the other room next door, so there is still chaos around me. But it feels really good, and I hope that you feel really good for having carved out this time to spend with yourself. And before you close your journal and before you get up and go into mum mode, or maybe it's evening and you're going to sleep, I really want to encourage you to, again, just center yourself, put your hand on your heart and on your tummy, and take a few really deep breaths. Connect with each of your senses. What do you see? Where are you? What does it look like? what does it smell like? Oh, I love smells, guys. I have a smell for 2026 that I've it's rose geranium, in case anyone's wondering. And I light it in my like burner, and it just makes me happy. So that is my smell. What are you tasting? Okay, my taste is jasmine tea. It like just gets me in a grounded mood instantly. What do you hear? So really just connect. What are you feeling? Connect with your senses, connect with yourself. Take a few really deep final breaths. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see you all in the new year. Please have your sticky note with your intention on it. For those of you who are a part of the Boss Mom membership, I have something that we'll be doing with those intentions. So please really write them down, bring them along to the first meetup if you want to. But yeah, may the start of the year just be such a magical one. And I guess I also want to say be gentle on yourself at the start of the year. If you had like all these big intentions and it's like a go, go, go energy like I do, for 2 days before the new year, then the new year comes and you realize your children are still home and your house is still a mess. And you're still just feeling the like blah of Christmas, then that's also okay. I think a second New Year's is like that day that the children go back to school. So if you are into the new year and you are feeling already down on yourself and you already like haven't had that feeling of new year, then start again when the children go to school. Spend that first morning with you, grounding, setting your intentions again. Yeah. And then we will all see each other at the end of January, which yeah, just so excited. Just so excited. And have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day and just sending so much love to you all.